Good morning everyone. I thought I would do a little bit of a working day vlog today. I need to try and get back into vlogging. I've kind of fallen out of it completely this year, although I've obviously been doing the podcast despite a few gaps here and there. I've not really been doing any vlogs at all, and I do miss doing them. I used to quite enjoy doing the vlogs, and a couple of years ago I used to do quite regularly. I used to do kind of like a whole monthly vlog series and things like that. I'm obviously planning on doing Vlogmas because I love Vlogmas. It's one of the big ones that we've always done, and we always do it kind of a bit more as a family, which is always really fun. But yeah, I've not done any other vlog series really. I started off with kind of my weekend vlog kind of things by vlogging like a week each month, and that just fell by the side. And yeah, I think things have got busy. My business has obviously grown, which is amazing, and in no way am I complaining about that. And my children are older now, because when I used to do a lot of vlogs, I had Jasper at home most of the time, and Arthur was much younger, and kind of vlogging with them was just easier, I think. Whereas nowadays they're older, so it's just constant activities, isn't it? It's constant school runs. It's then activities and stuff after school, and kind of things that I can't really film. And yeah, and my work days have got busier as well because my business has grown, which is amazing. Again, not complaining. But trying to fit vlogging into that without feeling like it's just the same boring thing that I'm showing you every day. Especially seeing as this year I've done quite a lot of kind of mystery things. Obviously my clubs are mysteries each month, and I've done quite a lot of kind of mystery things like that. So often I'm dyeing stuff that I can't show you, which makes it even harder. But anyway, I thought, do you know what? I'm going to stop overthinking it, and I'm just going to sit down and do it, and I'm just going to film whatever I can. I will say my office is currently covered in quite a lot of mystery yarn. So I'm in the process of Advents. I'm in the process of the Halloween countdown boxes. Today I'm going to be dyeing up more Advents. I'm dyeing up more of the Halloween treat boxes. So there's quite a lot of stuff that I can't kind of show you. And also camera angle wise, I might suddenly realise when I'm editing this later that I've suddenly popped in like a bit where you can see something in the background that you shouldn't be able to see. So if there are random black and white sections throughout this video, then that is why. It is because I have accidentally shown you something that I can't show you. But I am testing. I'm doing some testing for some new self-striping, which I will be taking with me to Glasgow at the end of October. So that I can show you, because that's not a mystery at all. So yeah, I can show you that. I've also got some warping to do. My warping board is all set up behind me. I can give you a little bit, I don't know if you've seen kind of my office in its working state. I know I shared a few bits and pieces as I was kind of getting it prepped quite early on when I first kind of moved into here, but I don't think you've seen it in its full finished state. So I guess I can give you a little tour of that. And my dye studio, my utility room, is now fully up and running. We've got all the cupboards in there. I've even got cupboard doors now. So I can give you a little bit of a tour of that, and kind of how it works for me as well, to give you, I don't know, a bit of behind the scenes, something like that. So we'll see. Anyway, I am currently waiting for my yarn to finish soaking. I was just trying to see if my timer, I've got my timer on my watch. I think it's finished because apparently it's not on, hopefully. I guess it just finished and I didn't notice. That happens occasionally, which is really frustrating, but oh well. Yeah, I'm currently waiting on my yarn soaking, but that's finished. So I can now go and get the oven warming up and heating up, and yeah, then I need to get on with some warping. Right, so this is my finished dye space. It's quite a small space, so it's really hard to actually kind of film it from a distance. I'm currently standing in my kitchen. There's the door. And yeah, it's a bit tricky to sort of show you everything, but we have my lovely oven, which I've just turned on and is now heating. I love this. This was a big new purchase when I moved into this dye space. And yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. I dye the majority of my yarns in the oven now. And actually my setup today is slightly different to normal because I'm test running the stripes. And stripes are something that I'll still need to do on the burners. I used to dye all my yarn on these burners with these pans. I haven't actually used the burners at all since I've been in the utility room for dyeing. But as I said, I'm test running the self-striping today, so I need to kind of do that on here. I'm going to just dye minis to test the different colours. So I'm going to dye all the minis in little jam jars because it gives me the right amount of yarn, basically, is kind of how it works. Anyway, so yeah, I've got that set up on this bit of worktop. Normally, this is where I would prep all my pans. I would put the dye in here and then I'd move it into the oven. But there's no plug sockets on the other bit of worktop, so I can only plug it in here. So a little bit of a change, so it'll be a bit weird. What else have I got? I've got a nice sink because this was a utility room, so that was already here. In fact, what you can see is all of the brown, the brown cupboards are what was already in the utility room. And then this bit of workbench at the back, this was already here. The door to the garage used to be there, but obviously when we had the garage conversion, that got filled in. And we've added this worktop here and these cupboards, moved the washing machine so that we've got a bit of space there. And then we've also added a corner cupboard over here and a little bit more workspace just along here. We weren't initially going to do this, but you have to buy work surface. You have to buy worktop in 3-metre sections, apparently. Can't buy it in smaller sections. So we ended up with significantly more worktop than we needed. And we realised that actually that meant we could put another cupboard over this side and I could get a little bit more work surface space. Which, for days like this, where I'm actually going to be dyeing stripes and normal yarn in the oven, it's quite good because what I'll do is I'll prep my pans over this side where I don't have a plug. And yeah, what else have we got? I don't know really. We've got a couple of buckets ready for rinsing water. And yeah, dyes are out. I'm going to have to get most of the rest of the dyes out. I tend to use dye stock when I'm dyeing stripes rather than the powders. And all my dye stock currently lives in this cupboard along with all my jam jars. So I need to sort that kind of stuff out. But I need to wait for this to heat up, wait for my little light to go off, and then I need to get the yarn in to soak. Right, my yarn is in to soak, and I've already said that, haven't I? My yarn is in to heat up, that's what I'm trying to say. It takes a little bit longer to heat up in the oven, I find, than it did on the hob, so I tend to like to try and leave it for kind of half an hour or so. If I'm in a big rush, then I will put hot water in the pans from the tap in the hope that it heats up a little bit quicker. But if I've got the oven on, I kind of want to be using the energy from the oven to heat up the water rather than using my gas to heat up the water and the energy from the oven still getting used at the same time. So yeah, I try where possible to just let it heat up in the oven, but sometimes I need a faster heat up. But I'm all right this morning actually, because I'm only doing 2 oven loads of yarn in pans because I'm doing the self-striping at the same time. I didn't want to put as much pressure on, and I only get a school day. I have to pick the kids up at 3 or 3:15, and then they've got trampolining, so it's straight to trampolining. So I'm not going to have any time after school today. But I'm just getting myself set up. I need to start getting on with my warping while I'm waiting for things to go. But I was going to say I'm at oh my goodness, words are failing me today. This is going to be one of those vlogs. I am at Perth Festival of Yarn this weekend. I'm not vending, as I've said multiple times, but I'm helping out my lovely friend Laura, who is Athis Yarns, and she's vending at Perth for the first time. I'm also there as a podcaster, so I will have a podcaster lanyard as I wander around. One thing I wanted to do today, while I'm warping, I tend to put something on either Netflix or YouTube or something like that on in the background. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to catch up with all of the other Perth podcasters and see what their podcasts are about, because there's lots of new names that I've never heard of. There's a couple that I have, like Kirsty, who is Grenade Creations. She is one of the podcasters. And I'd also heard of Mel, who is Madam Mel's Knitting Podcast, but I'd heard of her as a yarn dyer. She's been involved in a couple of other kind of collaborations I've done with kind of Perth over the years. I think the Hasty Back mini collection last year, and things like that. But I didn't realise she had a podcast, and I've not watched her podcast. So that's my job today, is I'm going to go through and watch some knitting podcasts. You know, it's not a bad job, is it? So there is Tiny Needle Knits, who is Jessica. Madam Mel's Knitting Podcast, who is Mel. The Meaningful Stitch, who is Amy. Ancestral Craft, who is Alex. Kriya Knitting, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, who is Rebecca. Heather and Hops Knitting, who I think is Kat. I haven't watched them yet, so they've not introduced themselves to me, but her Instagram, I think her name is Kat from that. Woolly Witchcraft, whose name I can't find anywhere at the moment, but I will probably discover once I watch her podcast. And they are all podcasters coming to Perth over the weekend, so I thought I would watch their podcasts before I meet them. And I'm also hoping to catch up a little bit with Acorn Cottage Knits, who is Jess, who is a new podcast I hadn't discovered before, but I got a notification this morning to say that she had mentioned me in a video, so I thought, oh, I'll check that one out then. I'm obviously not going to get through all of those today, but that's kind of one of the things I'm going to try and do this week before Perth this weekend. Right, I need to get on with some warping. I really don't want to. I'm just not in the mood for it, but I really need to. If I'm going to have enough stripes for Glasgow, then I need to get on with it.
If I got every word perfectly weighted on a thin piece of paper, would it make any difference? Would it change for the better? If I wrote you a poem, if I posted a letter? Suddenly you told me, baby, you're lost, but I am too. Whatever the cost, we'll make it through. Tell me you're the one for me now, 'cause what am I supposed to do? If you are not the one for me, then tell me now what I could do.
So here's our first test run. I will pop the picture up on the screen quickly so you can see kind of roughly what I'm aiming for. The idea is kind of changing autumnal leaves. So we've got the first green, the second green, the kind of goldeny yellow, the orangey red, and then the red. So I think they're all right. They need to set a bit, and we're going to attempt number 2. Okay, so here's our starting point with the second one. Again, I'll pop the image up on the screen quickly now so you can see kind of what I'm going for. But we've got the first green, which I think these are going to both these greens are going to need a little bit of yellow in. My green tends to come quite teal, so yeah, that definitely needs a bit more yellow in. And I'm pretty sure, yeah, that one needs more yellow in. I'm quite happy with that kind of lighter lighter kind of greeny colour there. I maybe need to go a little bit darker with it. And then we've got kind of the blue. Again, I need to go a little bit darker with this, but that's fine. That's the right kind of shade of blue, at least. And then it finishes with a purple, which actually I think we might need to go a little bit more blue with. One of the things I find with self-striping is I tend to dye it using dye stock, so it involves a lot more kind of mixing dyes, mixing colours and creating my own colours. So yeah, just a bit more kind of skill involved, I guess, in creating the exact kind of tones of colours I want by mixing various different dyes. But being able to test run it on the minis makes life a lot easier because I can just add bits and pieces and make notes of what I've added until I kind of get the final colour that I want. Right, first off, apologies if you hear the washing machine in the background. I have put the washing machine on because, you know, kids and lots of laundry. This is the final new self-striping, well, of the standard 5 stripes that I've tested today anyway. Again, I'll pop a little picture on the screen so you can kind of see what I was going for. But we've got 2 kind of light pinks, we've got a dusky, almost purple, and then we've got 2 bluish greys. So I'm happy with that so far. That's all the self-striping tested. I'll try and get a little snapshot of them all together in a little bit. Right, I've got 5 minutes until I need to go get the boys. It was hard work doing the stripes test run and the oven at the same time. I think I need to accept that only one of those is going to be possible at a time, unfortunately. But that's fine. I only ever used to be able to do one or the other, so it's fine. I thought I'd share them with you, my stripes test runs. So this one is, again, I don't have names for these, so I'll pop the picture on the screen again. And if you've got any name suggestions, then by all means, let me know. This one is the kind of Halloween-y, but not too in-your-face Halloween. So it's kind of inspired by a bubbling cauldron, witch's potion, witch's brew. Oh, witch's brew, that might make a nice name. I'm not sure. These two look closer on the screen than they actually do in real life. But yeah, I'm quite happy with those. So that's the first one. Then we've got the second one, which is the autumn leaves one, the changing leaves. This is a bit more, again, I'll pop the picture up on the screen. This is a bit more of a kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Primary colours, a bit more primary colours than I would normally go for self-striping. But here's kind of how it's come out. The strands are mixing a little bit there, but you can see. So you've got the 2 greens, the yellow, the orange, and the red. And again, the difference between these colours, especially these ones, are much more in real life than they are kind of coming across on the camera there. I think I'm not in the best spot because I'm backlit, but that's the autumn leaves one. And then the last one is the mushroomy one. And that's these colours. So let's see if I can show you these. Where's the grey? The light grey's hiding. So you've got a very, very, oh, that's a knotty bit, isn't it? Here we go. You've got a very, very light pink. It's kind of, it's barely there pink. It is pink, but it's very, very light. Then just a normal light pink. Then you've got that kind of dusky purple colour, a light grey and a darker grey, and these 2 greys have got kind of a bluish, they're sort of a blue grey. So I'm really pleased. I really like how that one came out actually. Yeah, so that's good. I've now got the recipes sorted, which means that for once I start dyeing the stripes, like the proper stripes rather than the minis, it makes life a lot easier. I'm quite tempted to do some of those as little mini skein sets. I've wondered about that with some of my 5 stripes. I've wondered about doing mini skein sets for them as well, just to make them available in various different ways. What do you think? Would you be interested in mini skein sets in any of these if you're not a self-striping person? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, good test run. But now I need to go and get the boys to trampolining, so I will leave the vlog here. I hope you've enjoyed a little random workday vlog. Well, we'll find out when I come to edit it whether it has actually really come to anything. I never quite know, really, because I just kind of record random stuff and chat to you randomly, but we'll see. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you like it. Give me colourway name suggestions in the comments. and let me know whether you like the idea of mini sets in these colours as well. Yeah, thank you for watching.